Hello, hello, and welcome, pedal nerds. Oh my god, where's my coffee? I had coffee. No, we can't do this. I'll be right back. This is not happening. I had coffee. Yeah, that's cold now. Damn it. And brand new mugs. Not Daddario, but you know, you get the point. It's okay. So, the Boss DD-500, you've been waiting for it. I haven't played with this a lot. It was parked on the big boss board. So, we're just gonna wing it. How about that? You've already heard it in a track, some things in the beginning. And here's my little bit crazy setup. I'm going into a Morley, I'm actually going into Blues Driver for some drive, which will sound like so. Which is then going into a Morley Tripler, believe it or not, which is then going into the Hughes and Kettner Deluxe 20 and Deluxe 40 split, which is then going in the effects loops of both amps into the Boss DD-500, left and right for stereo goodness, and then out of the red box AE, but without the red box on, so just a DI signal, into the, yes, seriously, 2 notes Torpedo Studio, which is running 2 412 cabs. So yes, that's our setup for stereo goodness with the Hughes and Kettners and the 2 notes and the Boss and everything. And I'm playing my PRS Modern Eagle 2, the baby. Yeah, it's a stereo delay. What else do you need to know? We're gonna step through a couple of presets, see what they give us, and then we'll explore some of the different algorithms, and look at some of the crazy menu structure, which again, Boss typically gives us a lot of options, but also a lot of confusion because we have a lot of options. So let's first look at some sounds. Sound 1A is pretty much a delay. Let's go, single coil. We can see the algorithm here. We can see the milliseconds here, which I think you can also switch that somehow. I figured it out somehow to beats per minute. Ah, here we go. Yeah, if you push the down button, you see a lot of the you see how all these knobs are set, and if you push up, you can see big milliseconds or 150 beats per minute, and then the note value, which you can also change. It does a digital delay just beautifully. What else do you want? And then one more up, nothing's happening. So, milliseconds really, I don't know if that gives any of us something. I would like the beats per minute to be this big, but hey, whatever. Let's go to the second one, which you, by the way, do with A and B. Here you have a tap. If you want to switch banks, you push these 2 in. And if you want to go down banks, you put these 2 in. If you go into loop mode, which I don't know how to do, somehow. Actually, I don't know how to do that. Probably holding this in. Then you have record, overdub, play, and stop. These controls, I don't know, these controls kind of remind me of something. You know, they're kind of reminiscent of some other device on the market that has these controls. It is also one of the first Boss devices that is using the traditional knobbies and not the big, you know, typical. It's untypical for Boss, and somehow reminiscent of, I don't know, something else. Beautiful analog delay. So you push in these two, we are on bank 2. Parallel world with a dual delay. So here we have modulation depth. Speed you can do somewhere else. In this case, this is the time knob or tab. Modulation depth. Here we have the tone. Straightforward, very quick control. Feedback. And the effect level. Let's just skip. I love filter delays. As you can see right now, it's buffered. You can switch that, so you have trails. That's, you know, nice function. You have to have that. The filter is easy to overdo on the DD-500, as you've just heard. Let's just go in. It's supposed to be a tape delay. And it does it, it rolls off the low end. It's a pattern delay. I love pattern delays. Neat. Vintage digital. Let's go through them a little bit quicker. There's an octave above it, which is nice. Ah. Kind of a cool sound once you figure out what to do with it. And that's actually one of the first sounds where you can see something being modulated. It looks like an LFO or something, so it's actually modulating a parameter like the pattern number. I'm gonna have to run because now the coffee wants to get out. Pee break! Yes, coffee needs to get out. Now coffee goes back in. It's a circle, the circle of coffee. You know? Elton John, Circle of Coffee? God, I'm lame. So this modulating of parameters is pretty cool. Let's see if we can find that somewhere else. That's a ducking delay. What is a ducking delay? Ducking is, there's a gate on it as long as you're playing, and then when you stop playing, the delay comes up, so it's not muddy at all when you're playing. Hey, who needs that? Well, let's find out. Maybe we can do something cool with it. I think that's way cool, actually. It's a simulated spring reverb, which is one of the things that it does well. The DD-500 actually uses delays, or misuses them, to recreate other sounds, like a chorus or reverbs, and it actually excels in that category. I kind of think more as in the delay category. It does that really well, creating other sounds with the delays. Very beautiful spaces. Here we have a stereo doubler, which is kind of cool. Why not? Exactly, why not? Kind of a slapbacky thing. Trying to find the one where it's modulating. Here you go. So you have, that's one of them, where the delay time is modulated. Actually, in other instances, that was done a lot better. Obviously, it's got MIDI in, MIDI out. Am I saying this correctly? Let me see. Yes. It's got an expression input for something like the EV5. I'm not going to go there. You can very clearly assign what the expression expresses. Now let's look at... Well, actually, before we do that, let's check a solo sound with an analog delay. Because that's what you would probably do. It works. Now, if we go and look at this menu right here, you can see kind of an overview of where all the knobs are, which is nice if they're not in the position that they're supposed to be in for the preset. If you hit edit, you have this endless control here, and we can click it. We can edit the patch. You can change the mode. How do I go? And then you have to actually use the down and up knobbies. Stage. No idea what that's supposed to mean. The feedback. Modulation depth, carry over on or off. So that's your spillover or carryover. Low down. I mean, look at all these parameters that you have here. Ducking, effect, pan, center. Let's just try this. Left and right. Control, which is crazy. Again, that's Roland for you, or boss. you can actually assign any kind of functions to the foot switches for this particular preset, which means tap, control, twist. What does that mean? Actually, exit, let's look. Completely crazy. Edit, control. So instead of doing the twist, I can do a momentary. See, no delay. I can make it momentary. Roll one to whatever is that. No idea. It's doing a roll of the... Do we really need that? I don't know. No idea. Fade in could be nice. Fade out. There's a lot of functions you can actually put on these, and then assigns are the good old boss assign function. You could also just make it a freaking tap switch. So if this isn't flickering, it's very likely that there's actually a different function behind it. Control 1 function, which is... input in the back. You can actually have external switching, I think. Whoa. And then expression function, obviously. Holy shit. Control 1, control 2. And then all these things you can say whether they're per patch or for the whole box. So you definitely have external control switch inputs instead of the expression pedal, just like an FS7 or whatever that switch is. Way cool. Now, of course, we get to the assigns. Foot switch assigns to... Oh my god. So I'm doing an assign for the tap control, but of course it could be wave pedal. It could be a wave pedal. Continuous controller. Again, in the typical Boss ES8 way, you could have anything going anywhere. Let's see if wave pedal is what I think it is. Toggle, momentary. I have no idea. Trigger. Yeah, again, act low, high, wave, return, saw. This is completely crazy. Wait, where's it going? It's triggering. Effect switch mode time. It's triggering my time. Yep. And there you go. That's how easy that was. I made a sawtooth wave go to my tempo. And I can set a low and high value, and then it's actually going through those. Which, of course, right now is a completely ridiculous sound. But the internal assign options are crazy. Obviously, you can assign this built-in switches to do anything, to trigger something like this, to possibly have you hit the switch, and then one of the values goes to whatever you set it before. To specific modulation value. They're throwing a lot of options at us yet again. So let me... Let's go through a couple of these things here. We have a pattern delay. No, we actually start with... What do we start with? Standard. That's on top. Let's listen to the differences here. And then we have analog. For some reason that's faster. Tape. Vintage digital rolls off differently. A little bit more like tape. Dual is nice, 2 delays at the same time. Pattern is way cool. Exit. Where do I set the pattern? I don't know. Here. Pattern 1. So, different patterns to choose from. And we wait. Here we go to reverse. Always nice for pads and atmospheric stuff. Sound effects. Where you can probably do... Shut up! That doesn't help. Where you can do lo-fi stuff and 8-bit stuff and stuff like this. Maybe oldified things. Shimmer, where you add harmonies to your delays. Filter, again, way cool, if not overdone. Slow attack is nice for fades. The Terac is something kind of very special. They had this as an extra box, as an extra stomp box. It's doing... They explained this to me and I forgot. I do not know what it's doing. It's something way cool. Let's talk brass tacks here. Let's talk bottom line. The Boss DD-500 has a few very specific things that it can do that others cannot. It gives you a billion options of modulating things, assigning foot switches, doing crazy stuff that if you want that, it is probably the only one on the market that can do the things it does when it comes to assigning a wave or an LFO, a low frequency oscillator, 2 parameters, giving you extra foot switch input control, all that craziness, that does the Terra echo, that does the kind of choruses and reverbs that it builds with the delays, which it does kind of nice. the question is, are there too many options, and are we yet again in Boss menu nightmare world? You could be. Obviously, this also has menus, but they're very reduced. I mean, you have like 6 letters that can show you something, and once you spend time with it, it's pretty straightforward. Click, click, and you get to what you want to do very fast. You can't assign the foot switches to anything else. Both have loopers. We're just going to say the loopers work fine. This can actually have the left and right input, the right channel as an effect send and return, which could be cool. This might have that too. I actually don't know. What do I know? So less options on the timeline, more price, but we're going to get to that in a sec. It's clear, and that should be the biggest thing for Strymon ever, that Boss is trying to emulate what Strymon has done. Then, of course, we've got the Eventide. Almost nothing to do here. You have to, if you want to do anything, you have to get the computer out or your Bluetooth-enabled device and do it on the Bluetooth device. But there's no menus, no nothing. You go to the algorithm, you analog delay or whatever, and everything is right there. Dial it in, there's no menus, there's just whatever is right there, you can do right there. Very easy interface if you get your Bluetooth-enabled device out, which is neat, because this by itself doesn't really, you can go into all the options, but not with this interface. So, given the interface options, that is neat. And then I have the Nemesis delay here, brand new from Source Audio. Very straightforward interface right here. No menus, no nothing, 4 presets. Everything else, more presets with MIDI. And everything else you can actually do with an app that I think you connect with a cable. I'm going to look at that in a sec. And you can use their little switcher thing to control more things. Way less options, way less, but more straightforward and hands-on. So, which one, I know you want to know this, which one would be my favorite? Well, the DD-500 has ambient options that I don't think the others have. Forget about all the switching things and LFOs, whether we need that or not, whether we need a twist function on the tap foot switch like I showed you, I don't know, I have no idea. I'm thinking, bottom line is, it feels a little bit matter of fact. It feels like it's doing its job. It's giving you what it's supposed to do. It's like, digital delay, fine, there it is. It's a digital delay. It does that. Analog delay, it does that. Tape delay, it does that. But does it musically? Does it do it where you go like, whoa, and where it just makes you giggle and want to play? And for me, it doesn't do that. It is a tool. It's a functioning tool. It's not your favorite hammer. It's not your favorite chisel. It's not the thing that was handed down from your grandfather. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like this. Eventide's a little bit like this. Great sounds. Fucking Eventide. Okay. The Boss clocks in at $350. This starts at $450 and it's empty. This one is $750 or something. It's the max. Obviously, it has a lot more. So if you're loading this up just with delays, you're probably looking at $600 or something versus $350. Obviously, a huge difference in price. It's a little bit matter-of-fact-ish. It's a little bit more inspiring to play than the DD-500. Doesn't have the same switching options, but musically speaking, this is also a tool. It's a pretty good tool. I would even say a better tool than the Boss. The Nemesis clocks in at exactly the same price as the Boss, has less options, but feels for like the basic, let's say the tape, the analog, the digital, all these basic things, the sweeper, which is a filter thing, it feels more musical. It feels easier to use, plug it in and you're immediately like, oh, this is fun. Whereas the Boss can go too far. It can go too far with the filtering. It can go too far with the sounds. It can be not as much fun. Same price, less options, but I would say kind of more fun. And which brings us, of course, to the creme de la creme de la delay. The timeline, again, not quite as many options as the Boss. Nothing has as many options. In terms of switchability, movability, menuability, blah, blah, blah. But that thing is always musical. The filter delay, the trem delay, the lo-fi, the swell, the duck, the ice, which is kind of their shimmer. The pattern, it just always inspires you for greatness. It always inspires you to play more. It inspires you to just write that riff, record it. Pete Chaley from Strymon, I'm sorry, simply is a musician, and he makes tools for musicians. The Boss has options that it doesn't have. It goes more spatial. It goes more crazy, which has its values for certain kinds of things, but it always feels like a good tool for less money. Yes, this feels like an extra instrument. It feels like it's an extension of you, your guitar, your amp, and everyone who's played this knows that this is what Strymon has achieved. Why people spend $500 for this? That's what I think. There's also the Ecolution 2 from Pictronics, which is a completely different beast. It's even more expensive. It's like $550 or something. I've done a Thomann demo for that, and it, from the first moment, felt super musical. It doesn't in any way have these options, but it has options to do like crazy things with pitch. Ecolution is a very, very good delay for a lot of money in something very specific for a very specific audience. I said you don't have it here. So that's what I think. The Boss, for the price, which in the mega delay market is definitely one of the lowest priced ones, along with the Nemesis, but with more options, is it's a good tool. It's really that's what I think. I'm not being inspired to greatness by it. Let's call it that. Yeah, that's all I can say. Again, it's cheaper. If you like the cleanliness of the Boss sound, it's for you. Bye bye.